All right, guys, we're talking here about like how jiu-jitsu changed your perspective of seeing life and skills in general. Talking here to John, and he's saying like how it was hard for him at first to actually develop better skills on the guitar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I started playing when I was like 13. I was playing a bit of music in school, like when I was younger than that, and doing a lot of singing and stuff. But when I was playing the guitar, I got to a level where I could like strum a few chords, and I would say I was like a blue belt level, maybe like middle blue belt. And I never got past that level. I would always like sing a few songs. I'd only play songs that I could play easily, and I didn't really understand how I could push on to the next level. And then after like 20 years, I was stuck. I was a blue belt in the guitar for 20 years, and then I got my black belt in Jiu Jitsu last year. And I remember the speech that you gave to us years ago in my first gym, where you said when you get your black belt in Jiu Jitsu, you're not just a black belt in Jiu Jitsu, you're a black belt in life. So I thought about that, and then I said, well, I'm a black belt in Jiu Jitsu, which is really hard to get, but I'm a blue belt in the guitar, and there's nobody going to kneel on my face or smash me in the guitar. It's a lot easier to practice. You can just go and you're not getting beat up all the time.
Yeah.
But I saw other guys then, and I saw guys improving around me. Like when I go to these open mics with that, like that guy was telling you, he's like he sucked at the start, but then like 2 years later, he was actually pretty good. And I was like, man, this guy was really bad at the start, and now he's better than I am. And I've been playing for 20 years. So I started thinking, right, how do I apply what I learned in jiu-jitsu? How did I get better at jiu-jitsu? Like thinking about the technique. I'd go to jiu-jitsu, and then I'd make mistakes in jiu-jitsu, then I'd go back, I'd watch a film, or I'd talk to Tom, like Tom Halpin, and we'd go back in the next day and we'd fix the problems. But in the guitar, I was just going in basically rolling all the time, and I wasn't thinking about what I was doing. I was
That's
thinking about
something
what I was
that people
playing.
want to do all the time anyways. People want to roll all the time. Like everyone wants to do just what's fun, everybody just wants to
Yeah,
go out there and do their roles, what I mean? Whenever you want to work technique or things like that, nobody wants to actually put up the time to actually develop their techniques, but everybody just wants to go out there and do the fun part.
yeah,
Everybody just wants to play.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the fun part is in jiu-jitsu as well as with the music is actually getting better. So like people think the practice has to be a painful thing, but the practice is actually really cool if you have set your practice just hard enough that you can just about do it, but it's a struggle and you're kind of failing. And then the next day you're a little bit better. If you set your practice up in jiu-jitsu like that as well, it's the same. And we're doing that here with like specific training. You start on somebody's back, you try to submit them. You know exactly what you're going for. Okay, I'm trying to choke the guy this time. Like I'm getting my hand here. Every time I get my hand here, the guy keeps getting it off. Why does he keep getting it off there? You can really look at that little part of it and analyze it.
Yeah.
And that's if I just play a full song through, I don't really miss or focus on the mistakes. I might make a mistake and just kind of skip past it. Maybe I'll get it the next time and correct it. But if I just play like 4 notes of a song at a time and I get each 4 perfect, that's like the specific training.
Yeah.
4 notes is like back control. Another 4 notes is side control. Another 4 notes is mount. And then you focus on those for like a few minutes every time you're training. You can focus on them at different times. You can do back control, then 10 minutes mount, 10 minutes side control. You get a little bit better at all those things, and you put them together. Then the song sounds better. So then when you roll, it's actually better. You're better at like the whole thing is better.
Everything. That's the stuff that I have been even talking on my seminars. Even like with my last seminar, I have been doing like that too, showing the flow of jiu-jitsu, not only like specific techniques. Because one thing that people don't understand is just like that jiu-jitsu should be complete, just look, should be like a ball. Everything should connect. You know what I mean? And I feel that a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people are just like they have one good position that they're gonna get from A to B,
Yeah.
and then they actually get stuck. And then for them to go B to C, like it never flows. It's always you have those breaks, just like if you squared, not rounded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that same thing with music. Like man, like in order to flow, to have a perfect music, you have to be complete on different notes, and not only be good at those notes, but actually flow them together.
You've got to connect them. And when you play a full song, so if I play a full song, I'll come across a part. When I play that song, I'll come across a part that I'm not really good at. And if you go rolling, you roll with somebody, you're going to find parts that you're not good at when you roll. And that's the
Yeah.
thing that you can use. The rounds, the live rounds are good at that.
Yeah.
You roll with somebody, you keep getting your half guard passed. Okay, well, you keep getting stuck in half guard, then you got to try and find a way to like isolate the half guard and get really good at it. Same with the song. I'll play the songs just to find out where I'm weak, and then I'll isolate that part where I'm weak. And that's the same with the specific training. I'll isolate the 4 notes that I'm struggling at. I'll play those on their own. Then I'll play the song through again. Playing the song through to me is like doing a live round.
Yeah.
I'm looking for mistakes. I'm looking for areas that I'm weak. So when I do the live round in Jiu Jitsu, where am I weak here? Then I take that aside and isolate that part.
And that's a good conversation to have. Even like ask like John, like we're talking about this here, and it's good to talk about because it's very important for us to understand about studying jiu-jitsu. People don't like to study jiu-jitsu sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like people expect to just show to class and get good eventually.
Yeah.
But you're not doing something that sometimes is particular to your game or particular to the things that you actually need to improve. So it's very important for like every one of us to actually get the self motivation, you know, and understanding to know like what's in your game that has to be better, and how you can develop and go out there and study on your own. You know what I mean? Go out there and see like, man, okay, this, because imagine if I have a problem passing half guard, and like and I just go to class, a regular class, and I'm gonna have to wait for the professor to actually get to that moment of his class. Maybe it's gonna happen 1 year from now.
Yeah. And you might miss the day.
And you might miss the day that he does it, and then he's screwed. You know what I mean? So it's very important to understand that whenever you go to a jiu-jitsu class, like in a regular school, whenever we started, you know, like for instance in fight sports, we have fundamentals class and then we have the beginners class. You want to go with the leadership that the professor gives you until you have at least a minimum understanding of what jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah.
As soon as you have a minimum understanding, right now in Miami we have the green belt even before the blue belt.
Yeah.
It's just to separate the brand new beginner white belts that don't understand anything about the art to actually white belts who actually already know, like they're at 10 months in, you know, like it's completely different anymore already, you know, like they know actually what it is. Whenever you get to that point, you gotta understand that, man, you have to start moving on your own. You gotta start like searching for answers. Even yesterday when we were talking about this, you know, like people don't search for answers.
No. Yeah, and we were saying, it's like if I ask you a question, I'm much better off just looking for the answer myself for a week. At least I'm in the looking for the answer. I'm learning a lot by just looking. It's like copying somebody's homework. That's how I think of it. If I just copy your homework, you got all the knowledge by searching and doing the study. I just copy your homework. I learn the answer, but I don't really feel that it's not ingrained.
You know, but you don't really know.
Yeah, I don't really.
That's something I say all the time with my seminars too. You guys have to think and understand the mechanics, the mechanics of the positions and why every position works and how everything works, because jiu-jitsu is about understanding. It's about, for me, jiu-jitsu is very logic. You know, it was always very logic. You know what I mean? If you understand what you're supposed to be doing in certain techniques, eventually you're going to be able to figure that out. Yeah. But if you don't understand, if you just copy and pasting, just doing what someone else told you to do, you don't really understand what you're doing. So like then if anything happens actually in the middle of the row, you're not gonna know how to fix it.
No.
Because the only thing you know is what you're told. Yeah. You're not actually understanding, you're just copying.
And you'll never be better than the guy that's teaching you, which is like the whole point. You gotta surpass your teacher. That's like your teacher has failed if you're not better than him. If he can't make you better. Like, and you'll never get better if you're just taking answers from him. You have to think them yourself.
Yeah, but the problem is like a lot of people get spoiled.
Yeah.
A lot of people get spoiled. A lot of people get spoiled, especially when they have too much information around.
Yeah.
You know, whenever they have too much black belts around or too much information around, sometimes they get spoiled. They're just like, oh, I know that every time I can come here, just like having Google nowadays. You know, anytime you want something, just go there, search on Google, and you're gonna have it.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days, you had to just leave and you had to just like, you know, like search for information and have more conversations and things that, or live through the experience, which would actually give you the full like understanding of what everything is, you know. And I say that because, man, like these guys are here like in Ireland, you know what I mean, like here, like Andy's here has 20,000.
We got 20,000.
20,000 people.
Tom Halpin is in the city next to me. He's got like 60,000.
He has 60,000 people, you know, and like, man, these guys are like, they got their black belt here. Like I come visit them once every year, or like even sometimes like they come to Miami more, but sometimes once every 2 years. But they're training, they're pushing themselves, you know. They're all black. I have him and Tom. They're both my black belts here. But again, like they weren't living in Miami, you know what I mean? They weren't like there with me all the time, but they were here struggling, going through, like very good in jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? And I see that sometimes people who are around too much, people who have the opportunity of being close to a really good resource, a lot of times, one, they don't take advantage of it because they get spoiled. Two, they're lazy to think. It's just like if you're born on a rich family, you know what I mean? Some kids, they're gonna have the mindset and the grind to actually go there and go for a better life, and you know, to become entrepreneurs and all this. And others are just gonna be like, man, I've got everything, you know. Like sometimes they don't even understand the value of things just because whatever you stand your hand, you can. Whenever you stand your hand, you can get. You're never thirsty. You're never hungry, you know, because you always can eat.
Yeah, it's no coincidence that there's guys like Craig Jones. He was in isolation. Now he's got a team with Lachlan Giles and those guys. But like a lot of his jiu-jitsu was developed in isolation. Then you've got Espen Mathisen and Tommy Langacre, other guys like that. Like then there's Tom Halpin, who's coming up this year. Like Thomas had a really good year. He's submitting people. He's going into black belt submitting people. He's not just winning on points in his first year. And it's no coincidence that these guys are in isolation developing their jiu-jitsu like that. The information is there. Everybody now has the information. There's so much information out there. You just have to go and train and think about what you're doing, and it's going to make you better. But it's if you just go home and you don't think about it, you're kind of wasting your time. Really, you're not going to get as good as somebody who's like looking at their own game and like, okay, I made this mistake. I have 2 or 3 things to fix. I fixed these 2 or 3 things. I come back in the next day with them fixed. I'm this much better than if I didn't do that. If I don't think about it, you'll get a little bit better just by showing up. But if you're actually actively looking for mistakes that you're making in different positions, and more of them the better, you can fix many positions in one day even.
Yeah.
You could have 3 positions in one day that you're getting a little bit better at.
That's the thing. Like they always, I mean, I tell my guys this: whenever you finish your training, never leave the mats without actually doing something to better your game. You know what I mean? It's very important that, man, if I roll today and someone passed my guard 5 times, and like I can't just allow this guy to leave the mats without telling me what I'm doing wrong. You know what I mean? For real, you just gotta, man, come here, like teach me how to at least get my guard. Well, like where is the starting point where I'm mistaken, and what should I do to get better? If you're getting submitted in the same position all the time, okay, what is it I'm doing wrong, and how can I better it? You know what I mean? And so on. You know, but if you come training today and you leave the mats without those answers, tomorrow you're gonna come and you're gonna get caught on those same things. Yeah. You know, so it's very important for every practice you have to better a little bit. Every practice you have to get the understanding of what's lacking on your game and how can you make it better. And again, of course, as you progress on the belts, that's gonna be less and less. You know, like whenever you're a white belt or a blue belt, still, you know, like there's just so much things that you have to work on. You know what I mean? So I would think you should just focus on a general thinking of jiu-jitsu. But as you progress, you have to like, okay, this little part of my jiu-jitsu, what can I get better on this? Now, right here, attacks, how can I get better right here? Now, defense, every time I get here, I got a kind of, I'm lacking in here. How can I get better on this? And it's very important for us to be always focusing on smaller parts of jiu-jitsu and fixing them instead of just trying to build jiu-jitsu as a whole. It's almost impossible to do it.
You got to search out the mistakes. You search out the mistake. If you search out the mistakes, you're going to have a different mindset. Because if you just go in and you're walking out and you're losing or whatever, and you're walking out, you're just thinking, I'm shit at jiu-jitsu. But if you actually search out the mistakes and fix them, then you have a pathway that you're like, okay, I'm looking for mistakes now, and you're not like blaming yourself for mistakes. You're like, okay, I made this mistake. How can I fix this mistake? fix that mistake today, come back in, fix another mistake. Just look for the mistakes. And even for us, like when I'm training with white belts here, I'll be like, maybe I armbar a guy, but I still might have made a mistake, but I didn't see it because he didn't expose it to me. Like for me here, it's really hard to see the mistakes that I'm making, because if I roll with you, I'll see 20 mistakes really quickly. You'll highlight them to me very quickly because you'll pass my guard, and you know, it's really easy for me to see where I'm messing up. But it's like for guys like in my spot and with Tom, you've got to find mistakes even when you're winning, even when things are working out good. It's way harder to see the mistakes then, but you got to be like, I used a little bit too much strength there that time. So things weren't actually right. Even though the outcome was good, there was still a mistake there that can be fixed. So like, it's just, for me, it's just looking for mistakes all the time and just trying to fix them. And Tom trains the same way. It's like we often talk about this. Yeah.
But it's important for us to have the patience and to work on the craft.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to get good, but not everybody wants to actually put up the time to work on a craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's very important for you to develop that. Develop skills. It's not something that happens overnight. Developing skills is something that takes a lifetime. You know what I mean? So like, it's a lifetime of hard work and fixing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people see me rolling and doing all these crazy moves. Man, I didn't develop that from day to night. You know what I mean? It's years and years and years and years of, you know, putting on the time and doing new moves and actually, you know, going after new ways of gripping and positioning and all that, until you actually get to reach out a level that you're like, fuck, okay. You know, and there's always next level. Like we're talking about the guitar here you're playing. Yeah. You know, you have to work really hard to get to one thing done, and then you're like, man, okay. So this is just the starting point. From me to go now from here to the next motion is gonna be even harder. I have to put even more time. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you get like, there's certain moves that a move that'll be really difficult to you first, like an armbar. You're just learning an armbar. It's like grab the elbow here, foot on the hip, leg up over the back. That move is really difficult when you learn it first, right? And then after a few weeks or a few months, then the armbar, that move becomes one move. It's just like all this, grab the elbow, grab the shoulder, foot on the hip, becomes one thing. And then that actually becomes simple then. Then you can go to like a more advanced level of thinking, like how can I set the guy up for the armbar? Because now you don't have to worry about the mechanics of the actual armbar.
So you already got it. You just got to make the guy,
Yeah, that's press the armbar button and that'll just happen. Your body will do that. So now you can start going to, like, it's a different part of your brain is now working because you're thinking strategically then. So there's another level, and then you go into more levels of complexity. Like now I've got the armbar, now the guy is moving and I'm moving with the armbar, and that's the next phase.
The flowing.
The flowing then, yeah.
That's the flowing. That's the main thing. That's the level actually that everybody wants to get. You know? Whenever you don't need to fight to get things, you can just flow through attacks and things like that.
Yeah.
You know? Alright, yeah, that's it. Good conversation, guys. Hope you guys take something from it. Yeah, let's finish with the music, come on. Let's finish with the music.
What are we gonna finish with?
Huh? I don't know. It's the one that you have like pretty much all the skills you develop. So I know that you're playing a lot of like
the whistling.
The whistling, plus the whistling, plus the playing, plus the singing. That's a lot of skills right there.
Yeah, that is a lot of skills right there. I'm trying to think of one now.
Next time we're gonna have the gaita, you know?
Huh?
You know gaita? What's the name of that? You know, like the gaita when you play like this.
Oh, the harmonica.
Harmonica. That shit's awesome.
Oh yeah, the guy he has got.
The guy's gonna be here.
5 different things at once. Yeah.
One on your the drum on the foot, plus the guitar, plus the harmonica on the mouth, singing and whistling.
Yeah, and maybe juggling something. Yeah, these ones I don't sing with, but this kind of like just to illustrate the point of what I'm talking about, how the music.
But one thing that we're just doing this, guys. I was just talking about Jiu Jitsu relating to the music. Is just because that you're gonna be able to relate to everything you do in your life. You know what I mean? That you know, like Jiu Jitsu leads you. The mindset of Jiu Jitsu gonna lead you to perfect, better and better. Anything else you have actually to accomplish in your life. This can be in your job, this can be in other sports in general. Like, it's very important for you to understand that, and I believe that one of the best things that Jiu-Jitsu has actually gave me is the ability of overcome anything that I need to do in order to get better in other crafts than just the gi itself. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, this was what we were talking about, the complexity. This little move here when I started doing this, trying to get my index finger and my thumb to do this at the same time. Just this. That took me like a week to get that part kind of smooth. And then once that became smooth, I could add other stuff because that was easy then. So I could go. But if I had tried to just do all that at the start, not a chance.
Not a chance.
So that's the thing. You got to break it into manageable chunks, and that as small as you need to make it. This was for me. I needed to make it this small. And once I got that down, then I added another one. I can hardly do it slow now. It's weird. I can only really do it fast now. It's just kind of strange. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the arm bars like this.
See, like that every one of us have a different way of learning. So like you said, like for me, in order to learn this, I had to break in very small chunks in order until the point where everything made sense at once.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and don't be too hard on yourself. You know, if this is like for me, I had to accept that this was the level of slowness that I was going to be learning this, and like this. And you don't pass it until you get that right. Even though I was like, oh, that shouldn't take me a week. It took me a week. So that's it. It takes a week. And then I add the next bit on. But everybody will get there. That's it.
But a lot of people, the problem is like the people try something and then that becomes hard and they just like, oh, fuck that. You know, like let me try something new.
Yeah.
But then that's it. Then they just didn't develop the first part.
Yeah. And also, if I didn't know any better, which I didn't for a long time, but if I didn't know any better and I thought that I had to try and do, and I thought it was meant to sound like that right away, then I would be like, well, it doesn't sound like that. I suck. Then I can't do it. But the fact that I was able to like eventually realize that I needed to just be here first, and then get that right, and then add a little bit more and get that right. Once I accepted that's how I was going to learn this, then I was able to learn. So it's kind of like we want to play the full song right away, but you can't. You got to be playing like the individual notes and this tedious stuff. Like this can be tedious, but to me, I had goals with it every day, and I'd write down what I was doing, how fast I was doing. Like I was saying, I was measuring on the metronome, so I would do it like I'd start it maybe this slow and do it perfectly. Doing it perfectly is key as well. You're doing the moves perfectly because you're training yourself the right way. You do it slowly and perfectly. Tom used to say that to me years ago. He's like, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You do this things really slowly until it's perfect. You just do it perfect and then you start to speed it up. And if you go to a point where it's not perfect, you go back. You got to go back, but we don't want to go back. We want to be faster. Because I have the book there, and the book says like, yesterday I was doing 55, that means today I gotta do 60, tomorrow I gotta do 65. But someday you might be at 65 one day and then you're back to 60 the next day. But you have to go back to 60 because it has to be perfect. And I'm pretty sure that applies to Jiu Jitsu as well. You know, get it perfect, do it slowly, and just enjoy the process. Just start to enjoy.
That's the other thing we were talking about yesterday. It's like, we're talking about exactly like this, that the main thing is just for you to enjoy the process. Whenever you love what you're doing, you know, like you don't try to rush anything. You just do it because you will do it anyways, and you love what you do, and you want to see the results. But you know what? You're always willing to take whatever time does it get for you to see that those results come. Because anyway, you're not in a rush because you love what you're doing. You know, the moment you put goals into something and sometimes you don't achieve those goals, you frustrate, and then eventually you're gonna actually stop or not commit as much as you should. So the main thing is like, man, for people to understand that every one of us have our own way of being. You know what I mean? You can never compare yourself to people around you. You gotta do your own work on your own craft. you know, and understand that every one of us like are so individuals that we have our own needs. You know what I mean? And you have your own talents, and whenever you hit the right button, man, whenever you get the understanding of what you're doing, like life becomes so much easier. Let's go. Go.
I can't sing while I play these ones.
That's okay. Just
I'm
play
not
one
that
that
much.
will play a cool one just for us to finish the video, because this is gonna put on my YouTube channel.
Let's do a bit of Live Forever, so. Maybe I don't really wanna know how your garden grows, 'cause I just wanna fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone? And maybe I just wanna fly, wanna live, I don't wanna die. Maybe I just wanna breathe, maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me, we see things they'll never see. You and I are gonna live forever. Maybe I don't really wanna know how your garden grows, 'cause I just wanna fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain in the morning rain as it soaks you to the bone? And maybe I will never be all the things that I wanna be. Now is not the time to cry,